probably about 15-20 minutes time, and it's one of those situations when I want to create something but I just don't know what, and so I thought I'll turn on the camera and I will actually share with you what I do in this sort of situation. So for me, when I have a blank piece of paper or a page from a sketchbook and I kind of feel like, you know, doing a bit of everything, but I can't really decide what exactly. So in these cases, my mind always rests with creating a little face and use something that I already have. So these help me because they're stamps, so I don't need to think about starting from zero. I just go ahead, stamp and decorate, and each time I can try something new, so that would be the creative process of it. And today I just wanted to share with you how I go about. So here is Khadi Papers sketchbook. This is the soft cover, and this is the thinner paper, which isn't as great in my opinion as the thicker paper. So the thicker one is 210, and that's the one that I have in my swatch book with the hardcover. This one is, I think, 150. It's kind of much thinner and just not, I find, not as fun to use as the other one, but it's still okay. I mean, if you just want to have fun, then it's fine for that. So these are my FOTD Clear Stamp Sets, and they are available along with a few other products on my Etsy shop, AlyonaCreates. So if you're interested, have a look. So that's the new set, and then I will use the one that I have with, as you can notice, the old logo for some of you that have been asking. This is the one I paid a graphic designer a ton of money, and this is the one I ended up designing myself on iPad. What is it? iPad? Yeah, iPad Pro Procreate. That's it. So basically, saves you a lot of money, and I would not recommend Fiverr or Fever, whatever it's called, in any way. Just it was waste of time and money. Okay. So these are also my acrylic blocks, which there are some still available, again on AlyonaCreates, my Etsy shop. So we start with the face, and I will use Tattered Rose. For those of you who have been on my channel for a while, you'll know that I love using it. Okay, so just quite simply, I kind of will utilize this page, or most of it, for other kind of experiments. So I'm just going to, instead of putting a dot in the middle, I'll just kind of scoop it to the side so I can use the other paper, part of the paper, for something else. Okay, so that's that. And then for the eyes, I think I'm going to go with these eyes. So these I could, if I wanted to, stamp in black, if I wanted a black liner, but kind of like to stamp them in nude as well, and then just go over it later with a zebra brush pen or whatever it's called. They're like great for eyeliner detail. So that's my eyes, and now I'm going to go ahead. The thing is with clear stamps is they kind of ignite your creativity. So when you're not certain where to start and what to do, start with them, and then you're going to slowly find some ideas of how to be creative and how to decorate them possibly in a different way. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so here go the lips, and I could have pushed the eyes lower down. I like it when they're quite low down, but it's okay for now. Okay, so very easy, very quick. So this is our base of the illustration done. Just going to move a few things. So today I want to do something that I actually quite like doing with these illustrations, and that is something I have discovered a while ago, but I'm trying to think. There was a different color. One second. Okay, so if you would ask me what is my favorite ever ink color, without a doubt I would tell you it's the Ancient Copper by Diamine. This is like the prettiest color ever, but then I have gone ahead and purchased a few more of their colors, which these have also made it in the top 10 or even 5 actually. So Sepia and Oxblood are also great colors. There, as you can see, smaller bottles, so you don't have to buy them in these big bottles. The smaller bottles they're made in UK, by the way. So the smaller bottles are 30 milliliters and the large bottle is 80 milliliters. So here we go. I'm going to use my glass dip pen. Highly recommend these because they're super affordable to buy and they look beautiful. They're very easy to clean, very easy to work. So yeah, love it. So what I'm going to do is actually start by lining out the lines, and this, because it's a water-soluble ink, the purpose of it will be like watercolor. I will use it as a skin tone and shadowing later, so you'll see what I mean. So I'm just going to go ahead, kind of line out these inky areas. And just give her a little something something. Hair as well, I will do the hair. You get a super fine line with this glass dip pen as well. So if you are into these kind of fine lines, I would highly recommend it. I'll try to link everything I can find that I mentioned to you, so that you can check it out if you wanted to. Okay, so basically I'm just lining out the hair. You can go fast, you can go slower for more precision. I am fine to just go like that. A bit of a chalker, of course. Now this paper gets a little bit scratched by the glass pen, so just be aware of it. Try not to apply too much pressure to the paper. You can see the ink is feathering. In some cases it's feathering because it's going on top of the stamped ink, the Tattered rose, so it's got that reaction. And in the other case, I think I'm going to fill in the eyeliner with this. In the other case, it's feathering because of the paper, like it's not treated, this one, so it could potentially go through. Just be aware of that. Okay, so I'm going to maybe try and put some of the ink back into the bottle and then just dry up the rest in a bit of a tissue. I used to be very precious and clean it all the time. I'm less precious with my art supplies lately. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a brush, and I think for for today, I'm going to go for the 10-0. Let's see, I've got some dirty yellow water. That should be okay. I mean, it's not going to clash because of the ink color. So what I'm going to do now is, like I said, I'm going to use the ink as watercolor and let it run into the water. This is a little discovery I have made a while ago and I absolutely loved it, and then I kind of went off it for a while, so I'm happy to share it with you and kind of make myself remember or remind how fun it is. So be aware of where you want the ink to run more, where you want it to be less, so you kind of still keep a highlight. And yeah, so then the lip, I want it quite dark, so I'm going to hopefully keep the lip color inwards, but even if it bleeds out, it kind of just becomes quite nice looking, and I'm going to just use that into her cheek area. And then let's go into the neck like so. Okay, so I'm not sure why it bled out all the way here. I could try moving it in, but I don't think it's going to do that. I mean, you can totally leave it like that as the character of the illustration. It's sort of not bugging me too much at this point, I have to say. So if you want, you can try pick up some of it, but it's fine. So that's that. And then again, depending how much detail you want to remain in the hair, I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of this, not too much, so that we still get the gist of the hairlines. The next thing to do is to just completely dry it, and you could leave it like this, like completely monochromatic, and that would be fine as well, but you can also then add a little bit of something on top of it. Okay, so onto here, I would look into her eyes first. So let's do the eyes. So this is a water-soluble graphite. And then, just with a tiny little bit of water, I'm going to pull it out, just teensy little bit. It's kind of also blending with the ink a little bit, so it looks quite interesting. And then just in the corners, build it up again. Okay, so in her, between her lips, just looking for a pen. So here I want there to be teeth, so I'm just going to separate it like that to suggest teeth. If you lost a line completely, you can go ahead and kind of bring the lines back in a little bit, just for a bit more detail, and then dry it immediately so that they don't start moving around. So for instance, just around the eye a little, like that. The lips. Like that. There we go. And a little bit of the hairlines in her eyebrows, just so that it's quite marginal and quite fine, but just to bring it out a little. And then again on top where you lost quite a bit of detail, you can bring it back in. I'm just doing it more to the side to suggest a shadow and density there. One of the nostrils and her beauty spot, just like that. Her choker, and that's enough detail for me actually. Yeah, I quite like this area to be softer here. So what I'm going to do is actually add a little bit of ink and then just take it out just a tiny little bit. That's just my aesthetics or my style. So with whatever is still left on the brush, I'm just taking it out like that. So creating just a very soft shadow here, as you can see. Just like that. And then you could bring a bit of color in by using pencils. Or actually what I really would like to do, looking at it now, is give her some freckles, because this color is perfect for freckles. So just a little here and just on her nose. And if I find it a little too harsh of dots, I can just take a semi-dry brush and kind of dry brushing it just to create a little bit of a texture. And lips, you could create a bit more color there. Yeah, let me just get my pencils. So the idea I had previously was to create some sort of, let's see, I haven't tried this pencil yet, the black one. I've tried the yellow yesterday. So again, thanks to Ali Brown, I have now finally managed to get these China markers, which I've never seen anyone else use before. And I was like thinking, what is this thing? But it's this pencil that can write on any surface, and that's how you reveal the tip of it. So you just need to pull the paper slowly, as I learned, each time. There you go, to expose the nib right there, and it's supposed to write on anything. So what I was thinking, I'm going to hold the pencil like this, is kind of create these like you know, like who was it on the in the fashion show, was it Yves Saint Laurent? Someone else did these gorgeous hat, scarf, bunny ears. So I'm just kind of creating a bit of texture. I don't remember if these are supposed to be water soluble or not. Let me just try a little. Let's see what happens. No, so that's good. Okay, so I can go with water color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this bit of mixed media for you today. Liquitex acrylic ink. And this is yellow orange azo, which is beautiful. And actually, I'm not going to use my beloved brush for this, because I don't know whether that could ruin the bristles, as it is an acrylic ink. So I'm going to use just a generic kind of, you know, crafts brush. So that's very good. So these Chinese markers, they don't move under the water, which is brilliant. And I'm just going to play with a bit of a gradient here, create a bit of light and dark. Also holding on to some of the highlights, like that. And then if I wanted to, just going to add a bit of moisture here. And this I want to be really yellow, so there you go, with a tiny little bit of a highlight. Okay, and then with what's left on my brush, I'm just going to put it into the tips, like that. That's it. I'm going to either wait for it to dry, or if you have a dryer, then go for it. Just realized I added some of this yellow here. Just fine, I can use it as a blush actually, come to think. Yeah, that looks quite pretty. I want the lips to be a bit more red, so I'm going to use a bit of dark red. What's this one? Middle cadmium red. I need a bit more red. So this is what now? Scarlet red, that's it. So just going to add the scarlet red here. And then I want the cinnamon. Is it cinnamon? This is Sanjuine, also good color. Just to highlight some of her features. Like that. And just slightly underneath. And a bit around the nose. So she's kind of like in between a bunny, in between a rabbit, something like that, which I quite like. Also a bit of a shadow just underneath here, underneath her neck, or her chin rather. Okay, so that's looking quite cute. And I want some shadow on one side of her face, just to be a bit more defined. Maybe also here, just a little bit. Just to create a dimension to the face, which obviously we don't want to look flat. We want it to look like it's sort of, you know, has a bit of a softer shape. And then the darker color from before, I'm just going to go right in the end here. Okay. That's it. She's got a bit of a shape to her now. And I think that is honestly everything here. Okay, I just want a little bit more red. And I think I'll have to go into my watercolor for that. Which is, I moved it somewhere when tidying up my desk. Goodness knows where. Here we go, I found my... There's still a few sets left, so if you want to get some... let's see. So I'm gonna go... This is the lip and cheek, my handmade watercolors, if you haven't seen them before. There you go, that's perfect now. This is the reddest red, like I wanted to create such a pungent, stunning red. I'm going to blend it in to that ink. Perfect. Now for the cheek. Let's see. This might be a good color. This pink. Just to make things pop a little. Just use my finger to dab it out. That's it. I think that kind of makes it look good for me. Just a little bit of orange actually. Alright, so now Yeah, okay. Now we got there, and then I do need to have polka dots in that scarf. So what I'm going to do is, how long has it been now? About 20 minutes? A bit more actually, probably. Let me just dry this quickly. So, in terms of polka dots, if I go black, it might be a bit too stark. Maybe I just stick with the white. Yeah, that kind of looks cute, so it's not too much. I'm just going to do a repetitive pattern throughout, like that. They're very dainty, so they kind of add a bit of a texture and a bit of interest, but at the same time they're not too obvious. So here we go. Oop. Polka dots are so therapeutic and relaxing, and then here they'll stand out the most because it's quite deep yellow, so you can put loads here. Okay, if you want them to be more, then go ahead and create more polka dots. If you want them less, then obviously make less of them. I think I'm happy there. Okay, so here is our girl, and then on top I'm going to press more now to create a bit darker, as dark as possible, like that, and maybe even take the line a bit more further out like this for extra drama. Okay, so I'm going to bring her in a little closer for you to have a look. And that is it. By the way, I am in the process of creating a class of how to create your own fashion girls like this, and what sort of different styles you can create and how. Oops, sorry. So there you go. There is our girl. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. See you soon.